This is important. Where does this come from? And I'm going to strike a middle ground here. And remember, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what the landscape is so you don't get blindsided. First of all, it comes from genetics. Babies recognize emotions before they are taught emotions. There are animals that have never seen a snake, but will respond in fear to a snake in front of them. This is baked in. It's not what they do, it's who they are. And so for us, we need to recognize that an element of this thing we call bias or gut instinct is built in. There's a part of it that's built. It comes with it. You cannot eliminate it. It's hardware, it's not software. Recognizing that it's there gives you power to manage it. The other is culture. Our culture, man, our culture is making decisions for us we don't even know. Let me just tell you the story. Okay, ready? So, France. I have the neurological hospital every single day. When you eat with the doctors, so when you eat with those guys, here's what happens. You walk in, you get a little tray, there's a little demi baguette, a little couscous, a little fish, a little piece of cheese, you get 2 empty glasses, you pay, and you're done. Awesome. You're on the outside, free and clear. When you're out there, they've got a little water, they've got soda or juice or whatever, and then there's a cask of red wine with a spigot. Oh my God, this is just enough to tilt the Alabama brain right off the pier. You know, my wife was with me. I said, honey, if we ever get an operation, we got to have that thing in the morning because these people have free refills on the wine for the doctors over lunch. That's downtown crazy town. What is that? Here's the thing. For me and you, in our culture, we view wine, this culture views wine. Listen to how people speak. Listen to how people write. Look at billboards. We view wine as the sum of its pharmacological properties. That's who we are. It is an intoxicant. Why in the world would you serve an intoxicant to your workers at lunch and expect them to go back to work? You would never do that because of how we are coached by this culture to think about it. There, wine is a food. Of course you're having wine with your lunch. Duh. You're having food with your lunch. You know, you're going to have wine with your lunch. Like that. The very same instance, the very same circumstance goes from polar opposites. From completely crazy and obviously crazy to completely obvious and obviously obvious. Depending on the culture you grew up in. So my question to you to think about is, what are the things that are now making decisions for you? Calling something crazy or obvious that you don't even know is in there. Because that is your culture. Does that make sense? It's crazy. Instruction. I grew up in Alabama. Good place to be.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Yes, ma'am.
LA.
Yeah.
LA.
LA?
Lower Alabama.
So, that's a distinction. LA. I'm not from LA. LA is Lower Alabama, that's Mobile. They got crawfish, they got a view, they got the Mardi Gras. I'm from the other side of the state, which is UCLA. The ugliest corner of Lower Alabama. We have wiregrass, we have peanuts, like that. So growing up there, I heard every shade of wrong. I heard parents talking to their children about those women, those blacks, those Jews, those fill in the blank. Hell, I'm Episcopal. They had no idea what that was. In a sea of Baptists, they had no idea. It was like, you're Episcopal, what? Honey, you can go to Atlanta to get that treated. You know, they had no idea. It's a urinary tract infection. But no, I mean, we had people that would fuss at us because we had wine in the church. And we thought playing cards was fine, and they do that disco dancing, and they would teach their children that, and I would hear that from them. The other place where non-cognitive awareness comes from is when you teach your children things. Make sense? All of these things are in there. They're brewing. And in the end, you get this. Call it bias, call it gut sense. You've got them. And I can't tell you what to do and how to do it, but I can tell you that there are plenty of tools to help mitigate the effects of these on your decision making. Understanding that they're there is critical to know that you're seeing that thing move and it's not. You're not seeing any dots and they are there. Make sense? All right.